Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Daryan Jones. I'm the Caregiver Education and Digital Specialist at Care Partners. We hope you had a great weekend. I know it's Tuesday, but we were off yesterday with the live segments. But we're back today with Lisa Milliken is joining us to talk about how to boost your immune system during the COVID-19 crisis and beyond. And so we'll get into that in just a minute, but I wanted to let everyone know. So today, or this week's theme is healthy body, healthy brain. So we're encouraging everyone to not only be active, but also be putting the right things into your body. So that kind of goes into the boosting your immune system, and then just putting the right foods to give you the right fuel. So if you guys have any recipes or your favorite recipes that you've been doing at home during quarantine, we'd love to have you guys share. You can email us at info@carepartnerstexas.org. Just take a picture of your favorite recipe or your food or whatever, and let us know how it works. We'd love to hear from you guys, just what you guys are doing to keep busy and entertained during this time. So we'd love to hear from you. I am going to welcome Lisa on, and we can go ahead and get started with the topic today. Hi, Lisa. How are you today? Oh, wait, hold on. I think I had you muted. Sorry. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay. Good. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. We're so excited to have you here today. Will you tell us just a little about yourself and your background and what we're going to be talking about today?
Sure. So my name is Lisa. I am a speech pathologist by license and degrees, but my job is to educate healthcare workers. That includes nurses, physical therapies, occupational therapists, speech pathologists, social workers, psychologists, dietitians. And it's a pretty fun job because my big thing that I love is empowering people with information that's current and research based. And then just for fun, I love to work with my friends in the community, my family, friends who are older or who may be living with someone who may have deficits that person's helping. So I love working with care partners and helping to empower you guys with information. So today we're going to be talking about the immune system, boosting our immune system. And that's really important with our current coronaviruses, but it's important for a lot of things to fight a lot of infections, disease processes. So I've got a handout that you can download later, whenever, on the Care Partners site that Daryan has mentioned, right?
Yes, we're going to post this as a blog post later on, probably later on this week. So be sure to check out the Care Partners blog for a bunch of different resources. We also have a video resource page that you can go. We have covered a bunch of different topics. So there's a lot of educational resources there. And as far as the handout today, I was going to post that in the comments so everyone can follow along at home.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I just posted that in the comments. All right.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
So it will have a lot of information, and I want to keep this kind of short because I want you to remember every one of the listed things that we talk about. Just give you a little bit of background information. We're going right to that list, but it's all on the handout, and I'm going to give you a few details per listed item. So, whoa, having a collapse thing, sorry. I had it all boosted up, and then it fell apart. Okay, so anyway, okay, so our immune system actually peaks when we're around puberty, right? So 12, 13, 14. And then as we get older, it gradually declines. And that's just a normal body process. But we can reduce that decline and make it really super gradual and not let it drop. Now, as we get older, it could really start decreasing because of our kidney and liver function, and just our lifestyle is important. So with a good lifestyle and the things, if we incorporate these things I'm going to talk about today, you can keep your immune system pretty high. But if you don't, it can bring disease processes. So we want a good immune system for a few things. We want it to fight infections, bacteria, viruses, toxins. And if it's strong, it will create enough cells to do that. Even cancer cells, our immune system can fight those things. If we have a decreased immunity, we're going to have more infection. We're going to kind of pick up everything that comes along. Even a flu shot is not going to last as long as we want it to. It may not last the whole flu season. And so let's go through the things that can help you with your immune system. And then I have on your little handout, the immune system becomes slower to respond as we age because there's less of those good cells to fight those bad substances. Autoimmune disorders could occur more frequently, and that can include things like diabetes type 1, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Graves' disease, multiple sclerosis, irritable bowel syndrome, Addison's disease. There's several autoimmune disorders, and then there's a ton of others that aren't as common. And then the body would heal more slowly because we don't have enough of those cells. The immune system's ability to detect, to find like that incoming potential virus or bacteria, that declines. It can't detect it as well, and so then it also can't fight it as well. Okay, so with that, let's jump in to the key points that I've pointed out on this handout. So number one is practice good hygiene. And we have never, ever had a time like we do now that is stressed so much in the news, in the public, on your social media, by your friends. But the skin is a tremendous protectant of our body. The skin is the largest, it's this huge surface area of our body. So step one is you want to wash your hands. You know this, but let me just stress a couple of points. When you wash your hands, you start out with the palms. You start out by getting a ton of soap and lather, and it's way better than any antibacterial hand sanitizer. In fact, you want to wash your hands before and after you eat, before and after you prepare food, after attending to a cut or scrape, after you sneeze or cough or touch your face, you want to wash your hands. And then even wash your hands after you have had any kind of contact with a person who is sick with an infection or any type of bacteria or virus or cold, which is a virus, any of those things. Make sure you wash your hands really well. When you wash your hands, so you get all that soap, you first start with this, and this is where some people used to stop. They do this, and then they'd rinse and they'd be done. But once you get past that, you want to go between the fingers, then do the backs of the hands, and then even do the wrist up here. If you have nails, make sure you scrub those really well, as well as your nail beds. Alcohol hand sanitizer cannot get the bacteria off of like acrylic nails. You have to scrub with soap and water. And so I just can't stress that enough. I know you've heard it in the news, but that is a huge protection mechanism for us. So that's step one. The next one, and this is hard to say, it's hard to do, but it's critical, and that's to manage your stress levels, because stress weakens your immune system. It increases inflammation. It weakens your body's ability to fight viruses and disease, and that makes you more susceptible to any type of illness. And the types of things you can do is something that works for you. So not what works for your best friend or your family member. So if somebody convinces you have to do yoga, that would be great. It may work for them, but you may not like to do yoga, so you're not going to do it all the time. But that's an example. Meditation is great. Prayer is great. Journaling your thoughts, going outside, being out in the sunshine, taking deep breaths. I mean, that's a whole class in itself of not breaths, but just managing your stress and relaxation techniques, getting away from your world of stress and tension. And we've all got a lot of that right now, right? But getting away from it for at least 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, even if it has to be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes later, 5 minutes at night, it is critical for your immunity system. The next one is you got to get enough sleep. For me, I mean, honestly, if I don't get 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, and you may think there's no way I'd ever get that much sleep, but if I don't get that much, I will start getting a cold or a sinus infection or something in the next few days because my body just doesn't fight it. The science behind that is that a lack of sleep disrupts the normal production of your white blood cells, and that's your immunity system, and that is a crucial component to having a strong immunity system and fighting disease. You also want to eat a healthy diet. We talked, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and we've got that on the Care Partner site about how much is enough. And it goes through a lot of details of why you need to eat healthy foods. And that's fruits and vegetables that have all those good antioxidants, fiber, protein. Likewise, you want to decrease your sugar because processed sugar will decrease your immunity. So someone who eats a lot of sugar, that's the person who may get the cold or pneumonia or bronchitis or a virus, a bacterial infection or a viral infection. So try to decrease your sugar and increase healthy food, which we've got a lot of other things about that. So a balanced diet can improve your health, can help you heal faster. So, try to stick to all of that. Then exercise regularly. So, in addition to helping you feel good, helping your body be strong and have increased muscle content, it also can relieve stress. It reduces those negative hormones and increases endorphins. And once it relieves that part of stress, it's like what I was talking about of managing stress, it increases your immunity and it prevents your immunity going down because of stress. So exercise, but it's really important that if you already have a decreased immunity for whatever, let's say you have diabetes or arthritis, or you are older and you just have that decreased immunity for that, don't push exercise too hard. Like, don't start a running program. Walking, moving regularly for a consistent period of time, even if it's walking super slow, if you could do that for 10 or 15 minutes, then that will help to increase your immunity. And then don't smoke. Smoking, there's a ton of research on this I don't have time to go into, but just the act of smoking, what that does to your lungs directly decreases your immunity. And then the next one is limit alcohol. And there's a lot of studies on this. I just read another one from August of 2019. There was one, I think, from April of 2020 that we've always known, and there's always been quite a bit of research that alcohol, especially more than 2 glasses, for instance, if you have a small amount, may not have a big effect, but if you drink it consistently, and it's consistently decreasing your liver function, like if you have it consistently every day, it can lead to adverse immunity related health disorders such as pneumonia. We've always known that there's a direct correlation of alcohol content and or intake and pneumonia. Also, these other articles relate to other infections, that it decreases your immunity and increases your risk of infection. And that could include acute respiratory stress syndrome, which we refer to as ARDS, sepsis, liver disease, and then just other general infections. So you want to minimize or be very moderate with your amount of alcohol. And then ask your doctor about which vaccines are right for you. If you have a really low immunity, he or she may say this vaccine could kick into a full flu for you, or for whatever. So ask them about the flu vaccine, the meningitis vaccine, the influenza vaccine. They may highly recommend it based on where your immunity is, could save your life. But if it's already really low, they may recommend a different dosage, or that you take it at a different time, or maybe even that it would put you at risk if you're already maybe taking chemotherapy, or you have a really decreased immunity system. And then disinfect your household objects. So if you live with another person, and if you or that person goes out into public at any time, and they come in, everything that you or that person touches could potentially have germs and bacteria on it. So things like doorknobs, remote controls, um, anything that's touched regularly, you want to disinfect those. Now, if you and or the person you live with doesn't go out, except for maybe once a week, or in this case, you may not have been out for several weeks, you don't have to keep re-disinfecting everything, because you're not bringing in a new bacteria onto your hands just by sleeping, But if you've been to the grocery store, which is where some of the highest risk are, but anywhere there's a lot of people, it's not that grocery stores are preventing anything, they're doing everything that they can. But anywhere you go where there's a lot of number of people touch stuff. And then you may touch those things. I mean, the gas station, when you're getting gas, you're touching the nozzle. So, and if you come back in, you open the door, then you want to disinfect that door. You want to wash your hands, all the things that we were just talking about. So let me see if there's anything else. Avoid close contact or food sharing with people have illnesses. Don't get close to them in their breathing area if they've got a viral disease, or even if you think it might be allergies. Sometimes we don't know. This is big allergy season. A lot of us have maybe sneezed or coughed or felt postnasal drip or whatever, but we never know if they might also have something else. So don't be within that 6-foot radius of someone who is actively sneezing or coughing. If you have been, go wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wear a mask if you're around them while they're sneezing or coughing, and then just wash afterwards. And also, when you disinfect household objects, be careful of the solutions that you're using. Try to stick with one product. Do not ever mix bleach and so the bleach, like with Clorox or whatever brands there are, don't mix that with other substances, because that could create a toxic fume that could be deadly. So, stick to one thing, whether it's your regular disinfectant or it's your bleach or, it's something else. So don't mix those together. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Daryan and see if you have any questions.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the questions real quick. It doesn't look like there's any comments right now. So anyone out there who's watching, if you do have any questions about how to boost your immunity, or just questions about being hygienic and washing your hands, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear all of your questions, and we'll be here for a few more minutes to answer all of them. In the meantime, I was wondering, is there any vitamins or anything that you would recommend or that are out there that are good to help boost the immunity?
Good. So, first I always say that's a good question to ask your physician, because they will know where you may have a deficiency. So, for instance, they may recommend that you take vitamin D. If you don't have enough vitamin D and you take that, it can be very helpful to your immunity system. But if you have enough vitamin D, there's no reason to take it. Now, a lot of women, like I take it because my doctor told me to for my bones, because I was on the verge of getting osteoporosis. So when I was even in my 40s, I had to start taking it every day, and it keeps my bone level right. But if you are vitamin D deficient, that's one. Other things are vitamin C, zinc. Those have been good. There's some products on over the counter called elderberry that's good to maintain immunity. But a lot of these aren't going to significantly increase your immunity unless you have deficits in those areas. So a lot of times your physician may say it's just a waste of your money. It's just going to go right through your system or right on out if you don't have a deficit. So it's always a good idea to get some lab values, once a year, and they'll say, oh, your vitamin D is really low. I think you should start taking that. That will help your immunity. They'll also look at your electrolytes, like your potassium, your sodium, magnesium, and then vitamin C and a multivitamin is usually a good idea. And then another question that I get a lot, not on vitamins. Oh, and then selenium is good, but it's better if you get these in food. All of your vitamins is much better if you get them through fruits and vegetables and just good nutrition, because they get absorbed into your body much better. And versus if you take a pill, it might get absorbed, it may not. So if you can look up what foods have vitamin C and zinc and selenium, it's SELENIUM, and what has vitamin D, getting out in the sunshine is great for vitamin D. Of course, your milk and dairy products usually have it. Those are good. And another question that I get a lot about immunity is what kind of soap do I use, or what kind of alcohol hand sanitizer do I use? Soap, usually any type of soap is good. The best kind is one where you can get a good lather, because those tiny particles are going to get in every part of your skin to remove those germs. But if you just get a little soap that because it smelled good, or it's a little pump soap, and you do this kind of stuff, you're kind of stirring them up. You want to have a full 20 to 30 seconds and then rinse the water off with, hold it under the faucet and let the water, just take all those germs away. But any kind of soap with a good lather. And the alcohol hand sanitizer, you want it to be at least 60%. Some studies have said 62%. But don't get the kind that's just smells good, and you can put in your purse, unless you know that it's at least 60%, because those are false hopes that you think, oh good, I have no more germs. And if you do use it, make sure you also put the alcohol sanitizer gel between your fingers and on the backs of your hands and in your nail beds, not just a quick palm. What other questions?
Thank you for that. That is, I think it's really important to, because we hear it all the time nowadays, wash your hands, but the proper way to wash your hands is what's important.
Yeah, it freaks me out to go into public and I see people do this, and I'm thinking, you just stirred up the germs. You've just rustled them. You're still having them on your hands.
You talked a bit about it, but my next question was going to be about the foods, if there's any specific foods that can help boost immunity.
The best ones are the fruits and vegetables that have vitamin C. So you can look those up, but it's, all of your citrus vegetables, if you can eat those. And some people can't do certain types of citrus because they have a lot of acid reflux. But you may do better with the berries, the strawberries, the blueberries. All of the fruits are going to be pretty good with vitamin C. And then some of the vegetables, usually the darker green vegetables, have more of those good antioxidants that will help your immunity, like broccoli, kale, asparagus, anything dark, like not iceberg lettuce, because it's almost white, right? So that means it doesn't have as many of those good antioxidants. But most of your fruits and vegetables are going to be good. But you also want to have a little protein that you include at least a couple of times a day, because that helps your body as well. I mean, that just helps to strengthen it overall.
Great, thank you. And then can you tell, just in general, if you have a lowered immune system, or is there a way to tell? Do you have to go to your doctor and get these tests?
The best way to know is if you're always getting those sore throats or sneezes or colds. Frequent influenza is a cold. If you get frequent colds, you've had recurring bronchitis or pneumonia, that's a pretty big sign. If you have diabetes, you have just automatically a lower immunity. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, you have a lower immunity. Some of the medications that people take for their autoimmune disorders will decrease their immunity. And so talk to your doctor about the medications you take. Talk to your doctor about your disease processes. But some of those things automatically reduce it, to some degree. You have to be even more careful. But you can still help. Don't give up, because if you eat the right foods, if you exercise, you decrease your stress, and you're very good with the hand washing, then you can still have a good immunity to fight off the disease process. So, never underestimate the skin and cleaning it to help your immunity, even though you have some of those disorders.
Great, thank you so much. We covered a lot here today, but we really do appreciate you taking the time to answer some of our questions. And thank you all for tuning in. I think we're going to wrap it up for the day, but thank you again, Lisa.
Thank you, Daryan. Have a super day.
You too. And thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow with another topic. So be sure to tune in then. In the meantime, like I said, we really do miss you guys, and we have made the hard decision to cancel all of our in-person events until the end of June. So that's a bit more than what we were thinking at first. But again, we're just continuing to monitor the situation, and we'll keep you guys updated. Our website is the best place to get all of that information, and the website address is right there on the screen. So be sure to check the Care Partners website for more online resources, activity guides, and just everything you need to stay entertained at home right now. Thank you again, and we will see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.